What's up, Tweeners? Welcome back to another Tweener tennis video today here on the channel. And today we have another great interview from Kentucky. We have Millen, the captain of the Kentucky men's tennis team, and we are so grateful to have him on to hear about his experience about becoming a captain for one of the best programs in the country right now, from transferring from a smaller D2 school that went D1, winning conference, to now being a part of the University of Kentucky, being from abroad, from the United Kingdom, ironically both UK, but amazing to have him here and to talk about his experience of being on the team and to give a platform for these guys to talk about who they are and to show you guys what it's like being a Division I athlete. Would love to have you guys join the Tweener tennis channel and would love to grow this channel to 5,000 subscribers at some point this year. And now, enjoy our interview with the captain of the University of Kentucky's men's tennis team. Letting you know now. Oh, fuck. I'm done for. Thank you again for doing this. I appreciate it. We're doing a feature on everyone and kind of getting to know you guys as well, and especially someone who's transferred from a smaller college to playing for one of the best programs in the country right now. And I believe you're captain right now.
I am,
You are.
I'm
How does
lucky.
that feel? What's that like?
At first I viewed it as like a pressure kind of situation because I didn't have that in my old school, but I kind of use it as a way to better myself in a way and lead by example, so I'm always trying to do that, and I think it's a good life lesson that you don't just worry about yourself, you have to care about, you know, other people and put them first as well. So
When were you announced as captain?
my first year here I was acting co-captain.
Okay.
But Caesar, who's alumni, who graduated last year, he was like the main captain.
Yeah.
But yeah, once he left, it's kind of I've taken the ropes. So yeah.
And what have you learned kind of through this position? Have you learned anything new about your role on the team or in tennis in general?
I think I learned a lot more like off the court.
Okay.
And in terms of like communicating, because the way that I see my role is I'm the middleman between like the coaching staff and the players. So obviously there'll be times where the coaches communicate directly to the players, and there's some times where they need me to kind of be the middleman and communicate ideas and stuff like that off the court. So that's how I see my role.
And what was your journey like? And we always ask international players who come from overseas to talk about their process. What was your process like, kind of coming to the U.S. to play college tennis?
Well, I knew from a young age I wanted to come to America because I was never a top junior or anything like that. So I never wanted to play juniors and go straight to the pros. I knew I'd always kind of play catch up in a way. Like college was my 4 or 5 years where I could catch up to those players that were ahead of me in England. So I always kind of worked towards that, and unfortunately I had surgery right before I went to college, so I didn't have many offers as it was, let alone with my surgery. There weren't many coaches that were like reaching out to me. So I knew I had to settle for a small school, which was fine, and I just knew I had to work my butt off and try and move up the ranks, and that's what I did. So.
And you somehow ended up at this amazing facility playing with the top guys, being a part of a top 15 program, possibly top 10, depending on how you guys do tomorrow. What was your kind of process like starting tennis? What was like your main goal when you came to UK? What was the process like?
I mean, when I first signed for a college when I was a freshman, I wanted to be a part of something. And my old school used to be Division 2, and they became Division 1, and they never won anything in conference. And I left that program having achieved something they never did before. We won conference. And I said it would be cool to do the same thing but on a much bigger scale. And there were lots of big schools that I spoke to, and they all kind of just said we want to get better, and it was all kind of wishy-washy, just generic answers. But Cedric, the coach here, really like sold me the vision that he had of bringing Kentucky back to what they used to be like in the early 2010s, you know, like winning SECs and making Elite 8, and we struggled for a little bit, but he really believed that with the team that he was trying to build up again, that we could do that. And I thought that'd be amazing just to be a part of something and hopefully leave it a better place than I came in as.
Love that. You sound like a true parent.
I'm not sure about that, man.
Not in that sense, but in that the leadership is coming out of you when it comes to that, and seeing that progress that you're making. And for you, how do you kind of, and I ask coaches the same question because I feel like it's very important. Like you said, you're the middleman, right? Yeah. How do you communicate with each player, and what's the relationship like from being just I'm playing for the team to now I have a bigger role and you might be not necessarily ahead of them, but you have some more opportunities to reach out to your fellow teammates?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough at first because, I mean, I'm a team player and I always have been, but you kind of just have to worry about yourself kind of off the court. And then when I became captain, it's like, okay, I have to take care of all of my stuff and make sure everyone else is good, because in a way I'm kind of responsible for that aspect of things. So it was hard, but I think just trying to make everyone feel good and check in on people and just be the guy that they can speak to if they don't feel comfortable with the coaches. And I just want everyone to be okay, because if they're okay off the court, then most of the time it translates to their tennis. You know, if they're having problems off the court, usually they struggle on the court. So it's kind of ironing out those things and just having a good atmosphere.
What's it like balancing your life as a D1 athlete?
I mean, it's tough. You have so much going on all the time. And I think when I came to Kentucky, I didn't realize exactly what I signed up for in terms of there's a lot more pressure on the court now. You know, it's a big program. So I kind of didn't have that at my old school, where there wasn't really that much pressure. It wasn't a big program. So you come here and it's a bigger school, and you know, classes are all of a sudden huge numbers, you know, 300-400 people, and the professor doesn't know who you are. And, you know, that can be tough sometimes. And then, you know, rushing to the court sometimes when you've got, you know, classes in the mornings and then you're expected to perform here as well. It's been tough, but that's what I signed up for, so.
Well, obviously, I would hope so when you're here. For you personally, as a tennis player, what was your style like growing up, and how did you adapt it to this style of college tennis?
I always was more aggressive, like in juniors.
Okay.
And I never did as many hours as the other guys, just because my parents would both work full-time jobs. So I never got the hours or reps or the high level coaching that the other juniors did. But I always believed in my attacking style, and I knew as soon as I started to practice more and get older and kind of believe in it more, that it would pay off. And when I came to college, I kind of, it's funny, worked on my foundation first. And have a really good base level, and then work up from there. So that's the main thing I worked on in college for sure.
What was the kind of the best thing that you learned, or like the most important thing that you've learned kind of going from that base up? Did you have to relearn anything, or was there something new that you're like, oh, I didn't realize that this was so important?
I think like the coaches here, we have 3 amazing coaches, and they all have very different outlooks and perspectives. But one of the things they always tell me is like, it doesn't have to be perfect or as good as you think it does. You know, like the basics can get you very far in tennis, and a lot of people try and do the fancy stuff first, when really, you know, just playing solid and getting the job done and asking the question is most of the time gonna get you the win. So yeah,
love that. And kind of to do a little bit more fun kind of Q&A with you, for the best, and I asked Gabby these same questions, who has the best clutch shot on the team? Like if it was, and he said this, 5-all, deuce point, whose clutch shot do you want to have?
That's a good question.
And it could be yourself, it can be anyone else on the team.
I have to go with Gab's serve. It's just huge.
Yeah,
it's huge, and he's going to make it.
Okay. It's just guaranteed. No matter what.
He's clutch.
Love that.
Yeah.
Who's the best roommate to be with or to travel with?
It's got to be Liam.
Really?
Yeah, I've roomed with him almost my entire time here.
Okay.
Everyone thinks he's crazy, and I'll be honest, he is a bit crazy on the court. He's crazy for sure.
He terrifies me. Yeah. I'm going to say that to him once he comes in. I'm not going to lie.
But off the court, he's just like super fun guy to be around, really laid back. He's, for sure Liam.
Who's the worst roommate?
Liam as well. Liam as well, for sure. He is one of the messiest guys I've ever met in my entire life.
Jesus Christ.
You can only imagine.
It can't be that bad.
Oh, it's bad, man.
Is it that bad?
It's really bad. We won't go into details, but best and worst for sure, Liam.
Do you think Nick Kyrgios is good for the sport of tennis?
I think so, for sure. I think not just in sports, but in general. I think in 2022, it's so easy to say the wrong thing, or you know, it's so easy to be made the bad guy or whatever. And I think in sport, especially in tennis, that's struggling maybe in like viewership compared to other sports, he's only bringing attention to the sport. And I think we all make mistakes. He's just the one doing it on live TV. So
with the most attention
that
you could possibly have.
But it's like a movie, you know, you got to have the bad boy. So that's I think he's playing that role.
I love that.
Yeah.
And what is the best piece of advice that you've received in tennis or in life?
Ooh, it's a good one. I think just have no regrets.
Okay.
Like, it's so cliche, but when I look back at it, I think even if it hasn't worked out in that instance, in the long run, I've either learned from it or everything seemed to work out in my favor. So I think take risks and yeah, don't be afraid to be out of your comfort zone and yeah, focus on you.
Awesome. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
No worries. All good, man.
That was
Thank
the
you.
weirdest. Let's
do it again.
Yeah,
there you go.
Thank you,
man.